Right now, somewhere on the ocean, a steel box is carrying a television across the world, and the shipping will add about the price of a coffee to it. For thousands of years, moving things around the planet was so expensive, it decided who ate, who fought, and who got rich. Then that cost fell off a cliff, and the thing that did it wasn't a faster ship or a bigger engine. It was a box. Stay to the end. Because there's a number about that box that still doesn't feel real. This is the price of distance. This is the long series. Here's the one line that runs the whole story. The real cost of moving a ton of goods across the ocean. And for almost all of history, it sat up here, brutally, stubbornly high. In the age of sail, a cargo crossed the Atlantic in 6 weeks, if the wind was kind, 3 months, if it wasn't. Ships rotted, crews died, goods spoiled. Distance wasn't measured in miles, it was measured in risk. Watch the line, because for centuries it barely moves. And the ship, it turns out, was never the real cost. The killer was the port. To load a cargo ship in 1950, gangs of dock workers carried every barrel, sack and crate aboard by hand, one piece at a time. A ship could sit at the dock for a week just being loaded, then another week being unloaded on the far side. Labor, theft, damage, delay. Most of the cost of shipping something wasn't the voyage at all. It was the two ends. Hold that thought. The 19th century did chip away at it. Steamships beat the wind and the line ticks down. By 1900, you could cross the Atlantic in a week, on schedule, for the first time in history. But loading was still done by hand by the same sweating crews, in the same slow week. The ships got faster. The docks did not. And so the price of distance stayed stubbornly, expensively high. Then, on the 26th of April, 1956, a trucking man named Malcolm McLean did something that sounds almost too simple. Instead of unpacking his trucks and loading the goods onto a ship, piece by piece, he lifted the whole truck trailer, the box itself, straight onto the deck. No unpacking, no repacking, just a sealed steel box moved by crane. And when his accountants ran the numbers, they found something staggering. Loading a ton of cargo the old way cost $5.83. Loading it in McLean's box cost 16 cents. Watch the line now. 16 cents. That's about 3% of the old price, a 97% cut almost overnight, because the box changed what a port even was. Out went the armies of dock workers. In came the cranes, lifting a box every few minutes. A ship that once sat in port for a week was now turned around in hours. Remember, the voyage had never been the expensive part. McLean had gone straight for the part that was. At first, almost nobody cared. Ports fought it. Unions fought it. For a decade, the box crawled. And then it didn't. Standard sizes were agreed. So any box fit any ship, any crane, any truck. Whole ports were torn down and rebuilt around the crane. And the line does what we've watched it do before. It falls off a cliff. By the 1980s, moving goods across an ocean had become so cheap that a business barely had to think about it. And here's the number I promised you. Today, shipping is such a rounding error that a pair of shoes made on the far side of the planet carries just a few cents of ocean freight in its price. It can genuinely cost more to truck a container the last 100 miles inland than to sail it across an entire ocean. Sit with that. Where a thing is made barely depends on how far away it is anymore. The box didn't just cut a cost, it deleted distance. That one idea, the humble box, is the quiet engine under everything we call globalisation. The factory that moved to the other side of the world, the fruit on your table in January, the phone in your hand, assembled from 40 countries. None of it pays for itself without near-free shipping. But here's the twist we keep finding in these numbers. None of it is a law of nature. When ports jam, when a single ship wedges sideways in a canal, the invisible system we forgot to notice suddenly reappears, and the price of distance, for a moment, comes roaring back. So the next time a parcel lands on your doorstep for the price of a sandwich, remember the box. For thousands of years, distance was one of the great, unmovable costs of being alive. And then a trucking man with a steel container quietly erased it and redrew the map of the world before most people noticed. Read the whole line. Not a slow slide, but a wall we lived behind for centuries and then knocked flat in a single lifetime. We've measured wages, bread, life, work, shelter, light, speed, and now the cost of distance itself. Next time, something darker and stranger. The murder rate. You are almost certainly living in the least violent age in human history, and I'll show you the line that proves it. This is the Long series. Subscribe, and we'll keep reading the long lines together.